and welcome to Mr. Wiley Teaches Math. Today we're going to look at the easiest way to find the lowest common multiple and the greatest common factor of a set of numbers. So greatest common factor, the largest number that divides evenly into a set, or the lowest common multiple, the first number that they overlap if you were to do the multiplication tables, like 9 times 2, 9 times 3, 30 times 2, 30 times 3. It's the first time that they overlap. So let's start with greatest common factor. Greatest common factor, we're looking for a number, any number, that divides evenly into both 9 and 30. For example, 3. So 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 30 10 times. Then we repeat the process. Is there a number that goes into both 3 and into 10 evenly? Since there's not, our greatest common factor is the number on the left-hand side. Greatest common factor is 3. We can do that again with a set of 3 numbers. 24, 40, and 60. There's a couple numbers that go into both of these, but we're going to choose 2 to show what happens when we get multiple lines. 2 goes into 24 12 times, into 40 20 times, and 30 times into 60. We repeat the process. Is there a number that goes into 12, 20, and into 30? Since 2 goes into both, we get 6, 10, and 15. And we repeat the process again. Is there a number that goes evenly into 6, 10, and 15? Since there's not, our greatest common factor is going to be multiplying the two numbers on the left-hand side. 2 times 2, which is 4. The greatest common factor of 24, 40, and 60 is 4. We can use a very similar method when we do lowest common multiple. We're looking for a number that divides evenly into 8 and into 12. We could do 2 or we could do 4. Let's start with 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and into 12 6 times. We repeat the process. Is there a number that goes into 4 into 6? 2 does again. Goes in 2 times and 3 times. Is there a number that goes into 2 and 3? Being consecutive, we know that there won't be. So our lowest common multiple is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, 8 times 3 is 24. So the lowest common multiple of 8 and 12 is 24. I could check that using the skip method, 8, 16, 24, 12, 24, end up with that same answer. So let's do the same method we had same numbers we had before, same set. We know that 4 goes into each of these. 4 goes into 24 6 times, 10 times into 40, and 15 into 60, which is kind of where we left it off. Our thought process changes. I found the greatest common factor, it's 4, but now I can think of it as, is there a number that goes into at least 2 of these together? Either 6 and 10, or 6 and 15, 10 and 15. So a number that goes into both would be, into at least 2 would be 2, goes in 3 times, 5 times. It didn't go into the 15, I'm just going to carry that down. And I repeat the process. Is there a number that goes into at least 2 of these? I see that 5 goes in. Nothing happened to my 3. But it went in 1 time and 3 times. Is there a number that goes into 3s? Well, 3 does. Goes in once. Nothing happened to my 1. 1. Those at the bottom, that would tell me that I'm finished. My lowest common multiple, I'm going to multiply 4 times 2, which is 8. 8 times 5, which is 40, and 40 times 3, which is 120. So my lowest common multiple is 120. So since these methods are so similar, we can find both at the same time quite simply. Let's look at the set of 24, 40, and 50, and let's find the greatest common factor and then find the lowest common multiple. So looking at those, I see that a number that goes into all 3 of these would be 2, goes in 12 times, 20 times, and 25 times. Looking at the set 12, 20, and 25, there's not a number that divides evenly into all those. So I have found my greatest common factor of 2. I'm going to look at that set. Is there a number that divides into at least 2 of those? Let's try 5. It doesn't go into 12, but it does go 4 times into 20 and 5 times into 25. Looking at the 4 and 12, I see that there's a common number that divides into those. So let's go with a 4. Goes in 3 times, 1 time. Nothing happened to the 5, so I'm going to bring that down. So my lowest common multiple, seeing how there's no number that goes into 3 and 1, or 3 and 5 other than 1, my lowest common multiple is going to be 2 times 5 times 4 times 3 times the one I don't really need to write because it's not going to change my answer, multiplied by 5. So 2 times 5 is 10, get 40, 120, 120 times 5 is 600. So my lowest common multiple is 600. So using a very similar method, I was able to quickly go from the greatest common factor and find it, and then just continue on looking at what numbers went into both. There's multiple methods of finding greatest common factor and lowest common multiple, like this one, just because of how quickly we can find both of them without doing factor trees or listing out multiples or listing out rainbow method for factors. Thanks for watching. Please check the class website for additional assignments and examples.